So there were some two questions on the table this evening. It seems clear, the answer to the rail trail question. There's still 3 modes that are still left on the table. That's dedicated bus lanes, light rail, and automated guideway transit. I think we're just looking for some clarification on, do we want to move forward with all 3? Do we want to move forward with BRT and light rail, or do we want to move forward with just BRT? I think that's kind of.
Well, the AGT is the monorail, right? Like, I don't even know why we're talking about that, but.
So we can look at light rail and BRT if that's helpful, or does that sound good?
At least get a cost for light rail down 248, just something I can
Maybe,
grab onto.
maybe a midterm update, so we don't go all the way through level 2 and come back to you with sort of some better numbers related to light rail, and then we can kind of have that discussion then as well.
Yeah.
Ask a question about that. Where is this light rail coming from? Like, where's our starting point?
Right now, we're, with this study, we're looking at versus and flat. Obviously, there's the discussion of the park and ride location. The reason why we stuck with versus and flat is it still is in line with the Gordo site, so that doesn't preclude us from, if we wanted to go to the Gordo site as the new park and ride location, we can still do that. Just for the analysis sake, we did take it all the way to versus and flat, but we can talk about that.
I would only want to look at a bus at this point. I think we've heard, again, I'll reiterate, we've heard from quite a few people in Clark Ranch that there's already a ton of traffic over there. And then asking to now put in a whole other lane of a train coming on Ridges and Flat Road. So I'm only in favor of moving forward looking at a bus.
To look at a monorail. What about the rest of you for light rail?
You know, I feel like we're just headed towards bus. I wouldn't want to spend more time and money on the other modes. If there's some way, I think sort of you were suggesting, we can get council members that data that they want to see to really feel confident in the decision without expending a lot more money and time. And I think I'm comfortable with that, but definitely let's not go too far.
Jeremy?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, should be making informed decisions. To be clear, we would just be looking at an alignment through the 248 corridor. And I would stand by my earlier comment of being pretty firmly against additional, whatever it is, road, asphalt, pavement, whatever you call it. So if it can fit within the footprint, sure, yeah. If it can't, then I'd be more negative towards it.
I'd love to know the cost. And that's kind of it. Whether we do it or not, I don't know. It's always something up in your back pocket. If we can't change behavior, and we can't get the buses doing what we need them to do, then what? I don't want to have to say, now what? I'd like to have something, at least that we can have in the back pocket that we need.
So are you in favor of further investigation of light rail?
Yes, but now I want to pay a consultant.
Yeah.
So, can we do it in-house?
Well, I think
Sure,
Connor said
at
they
top
could come,
level, then yeah.
I think Connor said they could come back with like a midterm update, right? And I think that could give us enough clarity on that answer. And one request that I will make is, I want the team to come to council and ask council, like, what, Ed had this question earlier when he was questioning Shane. Of course, Shane keep green, he left the room.
I apologize, get it, go to the family, it's better go catch them.
No worries. And I'm sitting here listening to Ed, and I'm like, I feel like Ed's saying, I don't know what your hypothesis is, I don't know what question you're trying to answer. And how can I give you direction on the answer if I don't know what the question is? So I feel like it would be helpful, like we have so many studies published here at the city over the last 20 years. We've got great work in the Park City Forward transportation plan. We've done a lot of studies. Like, let's have an idea of what sort of volume we would like to provide. We can then figure out how we get it, how we get from the end of the point to their end point, right? But what kind of volume are we looking to move in that 3 or 4 mile corridor? Is it 200 people an hour, or do we need to think it needs to be like in peak season 2,000 or 3,000, right? So that would be helpful to understand that, because some of these questions on cost are meaningless unless we know what volume we're trying to solve for. So please come back with a specific question and ask for council direction on that.
Yes. What he said.
So what's with flex lanes? Are they still in the consideration?
The flex lanes, yeah, so we're looking at flex lanes in the relationship to transit to support essentially. And it would really just be for the BRC solution when you're talking about light rail. That would be sort of like a sync track situation, but as it relates to BRC, that's what we're looking at flex lanes for.
And potential private vehicle use at certain times of the week, right?
For trust.
You can, we can look at that, I think, yeah.
When you do come back, can we also get, again, the reason why we're not doing flex lanes? Just consistently get the same question, and I'm just struggling a little bit to answer it. Thank you.
And just, can we clarify that? I think the question is about outbound or inbound, because I feel like inbound we've covered.
Yeah, we've covered, but yeah, if it,
Outbound,
yeah.
just to clarify, keep your head.
So if we narrowed it down a little bit here, the 248 corridor, let's look at everything at that point. With the numbers of, like Bill said, what are we trying to move here? Let's open it back up. I'm still not convinced that the arrows on top of the road don't work. Changing lines truthfully, it's a cheap alternative, I don't know.
All right, I think.
Anyway.
I didn't mean to eliminate inbound. No, the question on inbound is, what does that mean from a circulation perspective for it to work? Right, does that mean that we have to look broader and improve this intersection, or is it just too much to bite off and not worth doing? But that's the answer, before we just say, let's forget it.
Our intent of looking at flex lanes is to look at inbound and outbound and use that as a way to find operational efficiencies and reduce any potential widening impacts. So that really only applies to a bus type mode. It doesn't really work for light rail. So that's something we plan to do in the next phase, absolutely.
Perfect, thanks. And part of that is neighborhood impact, right? So noise, safety.
Yeah, some of the things
wildlife.
that we're kind of quietly working on behind the scenes that can be part of kind of this interim update. We are building these transit lanes into our traffic model. We are running transit scenarios. We're looking at what the requirements are for intersection configuration, turning lanes, bus priority turning lanes, and kind of how to configure that and what that does to traffic in the area. So it is very detailed, it's very time intensive, and so that's why, one of the reasons why we wanted this conversation today, what is worth spending that amount of time and detail on? What are the viable solutions that we really do want to flesh out and understand those nuances? And one of that is ridership. We're going to be looking at ridership of DRT for sure, and it sounds like likely light rail as well.
Can you remind us of that study area? You've said intersection a few times, so are you going all the way to the intersection of Kearns and Bonanza, or are you talking about the school, just what's the school?
All of the above. So we're looking at every intersection between Richardson, Flat, Park, and Ride, down 248, Bonanza, and then Bonanza and Deer Valley Drive with the intention of kind of end of line being the Old Town Transit Center.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right.
That looks like public comment.
I'm sorry, we've closed the public comment, but you're very welcome to email the council if you're coming. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Great work. Really appreciate it. We're
Thank
making
you.
progress. All right, council, let's take a 5-minute stretch break.
Pickleball?